What is time? Well, our dictionary will define it as the system of those sequential relations that any event has to any other, as past, present, and future, in different and continuous duration, regarded as that in which events succeed one another. But for the common Joe, time is what you need to kill when you spend your day at a lousy, minimum wage part-time position. Since the beginning of civilization, people had the need to measure and record time. Thus, in order to organize the praying time and social activities, cultures in North Africa and the Middle East invented the first so-called clocks. Let's start with some background information. Today, as always, we have our specialist Bob to talk to us about astronomy, Egyptian astronomy.
Astronomy played an important role in the Egyptian daily life. Stars and constellations were depicted around the different galaxies. So, there have been many studies that all the systems in Giza, so, and we're speaking a lot of one galaxy, from over here. Obviously, the sun was in the rising, right? The topping and as the evening came, the bodies and the shore or the firm were lifted to the sky, and the bottom rock was the bottom of the earth gone.
That's it for today, Bob. Thank you for stretching our brains. It was another hot summer day in ancient Egypt, when little Aziz was playing with his stick, when he suddenly noticed a magnificent sight. He realized that when he put his stick in the sand, a shadow was cast in the exact shape of his playful tool. After an hour, when Aziz came back to take his stick, he was amazed to see that the shadow slightly changed its position. Frightful, he ran to his father, Abu Aziz, who happened to be a high priest and an astronomer. This is a great opportunity for us to talk about Egyptian astronomers. Actually, the astronomers in ancient Egypt were priests who followed the Nile's flooding behavior over many seasons and could accurately predict flooding using the stars and prepare in advance. They observed that the Nile overflowed in the summer just before the bright star Sirius rose before the sun. This, in the eyes of their followers, gave them enormous power and influence. Life revolved around the annual flooding of the Nile, which brought about 3 seasons, which in turn were divided into 4 lunar months. Back to little Aziz. Just like him, his father was struck by the shadow's movement. A genius idea arose in his mind. He figured the sun could also be used to determine when certain events occur. He decided to tie Aziz to the ground and use him to predict when darkness will come. 50 years passed, and Aziz was too old and tired to stand on his feet, and his father could no longer use him as a tool. But no, it wasn't the end of timekeeping. The word about Abu Aziz's shadow clock spread around Egypt like a pyramid, and in 3500 BC, a new invention came about that wickedly changed the lives of the people. It was called the obelisk. These stone structures, which were used as sun clocks, were thin, tall, 4-sided monuments that created a large shadow on the ground and enabled the Egyptians to identify each part of the day. The obelisk's shadow also enabled the ancient Egyptians to identify the summer solstice, the longest day of the year, which was presented by the largest shadow at noon, and the winter solstice, the shortest day of the year, which was shown by the shortest shadow at noon. To receive a more accurate time, the Egyptians added markers around the base of the obelisk. The obelisk's idea is similar to our modern-day clock. The hands move across the face in a steady motion, hitting markers that symbolize the hours of the day. However, the obelisk timekeeping was only based on the orbit of the Earth around the Sun. Even though we would all like to see, touch, hear, or smell an obelisk, today only 30 exist around the world, including 7 in Egypt. If you would like to see one, call the number on the screen or visit the official website for stone monuments, www.ilikemymonumentsmadeoutofstone.com.org.uk.
You find yourself wondering what the time is with no obelisks in sight? You arrived late to your praying sessions because the obelisk wasn't very accurate? Introducing the sundial, the accurate and portable timekeeper. The sundial tracks the apparent movement of the sun around the celestial pole by casting a shadow onto a surface that is marked by hour lines. Just set the sundial so that the bar of the T faces east. As the sun moves throughout the day, it will cast a shadow indicating the time. And then at noon, just readjust it westward. It's so easy a child can do it. You can use it while driving. You can use it in the bathroom. You can even use it while doing the hula hoop. But wait, there's more! If you call now, we'll include the amazing hemispherical dial for a better year-round accuracy. This ball of high-quality clay carries a central vertical pointer marked with sets of hour lines. And if you're still not convinced, we'll include another sundial, absolutely free. That's right, absolutely free. This 60-grain value is all yours for just $19.99. This offer is not available in stores, so call now. Here is how to order. Call 1-800-555-555-555 to order the sundial for only $19.99 plus shipping and handling. So call 1-800-555-555-555. Must be 18 or older to order. Supplies are limited and will not last at this price. So call now. Operators are waiting online.
Indeed, the sundial, which was invented around 1500 BC, was portable and somewhat reliable. But you have to realize, lads, that it also had a few crucial disadvantages. First, it relied on the exact position of the sun in the sky, and when the sundial moved beyond its original latitude, it gave false readings. Second, it was incapable of giving any sort of time readings during cloudy or rainy days and at night. Third, the changing seasonal positions of the Earth and its rotation around the sun also caused the readings on the sundial to drastically change. Using the sundial was a complicated process of deducting the correct time from the location and length of a shadow, and it was only accurate and usable half the time. Around 600 BC, the Egyptians developed another useful device to improve their timekeeping, the merkit, the oldest known astronomical tool. For time readings, a pair of merkits, or the instruments of knowing, were used to establish a north-south line by aligning them with Polaris, the North Star. This star clock was similar in function to an astrolabe and was made from the central rib of a palm leaf. The Egyptians, using a string with a weight on the end for a straight vertical line, were able to mark off nighttime hours by observing the north-south line and determining when certain other stars and constellations crossed it. The merkit was usually correct to within less than half a degree. Now let's take a glance at what we learned today. Civilizations in North Africa and the Middle East developed the first clocks around 5,000 to 6,000 years ago. In ancient Egypt, around 3500 BC, people started dividing their day into approximate hours by using tall stone monuments called obelisks. Around 1500 BC, the sundial was invented, a more accurate and portable timepiece. In the quest for more round-year accuracy, sundials evolved from flat plates to more elaborate forms, such as the bowl-shaped hemispherical dial. The oldest known astronomical tool was invented around 600 BC and was called the merkit. And here is a fun fact. By 30 BC, about 13 different types of sun clocks were used across the Middle East, North Africa, and Europe. That's all for today, lads. If the guy next to you is still sleeping, please wake him up.